Most people think strict implementation of no mobile phone inside plant assemblies is about productivity, keeping you off social media and calls. But as an engineer, you know that's only about 10% of the story. Your phone is actually a high-powered transceiver for a massive, multi-billion-dollar military-grade satellite constellation. The Global Positioning System, or GPS, was originally developed and is still managed by the United States Space Force under the Department of Defense. It's a global utility, but in a high-stakes plant environment, that global connection is, honestly, a local liability. When most people think about GPS on their phones, they imagine it as just another app, something you download from the App Store, open up when you need directions, and close when you're done. But that's a huge misconception, especially in the world of industrial safety and operations. The truth is, GPS isn't just a piece of software, it's a fundamental part of your phone's hardware, quietly working in the background, whether you realize it or not. No matter if you're carrying the latest iPhone, a rugged Samsung, or a budget-friendly Android device in the Philippines, every modern smartphone comes equipped with a dedicated GNSS or GPS chip. This chip is physically embedded into the phone's motherboard, making it an inseparable part of the device. It's not something you can simply uninstall or turn off with a swipe. Manufacturers include this hardware as a standard requirement, ensuring that location services are always available for navigation, emergency response, and countless other applications. In fact, the presence of this chip is so universal that it's become a baseline expectation for any device on the market today. Whether you're in a bustling city or a remote industrial site, your phone is always ready to pinpoint your location with impressive accuracy. What's even more fascinating is that this tracking capability doesn't depend on your SIM card or Wi-Fi connection. As long as your phone has a clear view of the sky, it can receive signals from satellites orbiting above, allowing it to trilaterate your exact position, often within just a few meters. This means that even if you're in airplane mode, or you've removed your SIM card entirely, your phone's hardware is still quietly listening for those satellite signals, ready to calculate your location at a moment's notice. But here's where things get even more intriguing, and a bit unsettling. What if that tracking capability persists even when you think your device is completely powered off? Could your phone still be communicating, still aware of its surroundings, even when the screen is dark, and the battery appears dead? The answer might surprise you, and it's something every industrial worker and safety manager should be aware of. Here's the technical detail that catches a lot of security managers off guard: the concept of always-on tracking. Powering off your phone does not stop the tracking. This is a common misconception that many people have. They believe that once the phone is off, it's essentially a brick, incapable of any activity. But that's far from the truth. Modern smartphones, specifically iPhones from the 11 series onward and the latest Android flagships, utilize power reserve mode. This mode is designed to keep essential functions running even when the phone appears to be off. Even when the main operating system is shut down, the built-in GPS and Bluetooth low-energy sensors remain active. These sensors are crucial for various functionalities, including location tracking and device connectivity. They operate on a dedicated sliver of battery power that can last for days. This means that even if your phone's main battery is critically low, these sensors can still function, ensuring that tracking continues uninterrupted. Your device basically becomes a passive beacon in a mesh network. This network allows your phone to communicate with other nearby devices, creating a web of connectivity that can be used for various purposes, including tracking. It pings other nearby devices to upload your location to the cloud. This data is then accessible to various entities, potentially including unauthorized ones, posing a significant security risk. In a high-security facility, a so-called dead phone is still a live transmitter, mapping your facility's interior layouts 24/7. This continuous mapping can provide detailed insights into the layout and operations of your facility, which can be exploited if it falls into the wrong hands. Understanding this reality is crucial for implementing effective security measures. Simply turning off devices is not enough. More sophisticated strategies are required to ensure that sensitive information remains protected. Now, let's talk about one of the most immediate and often overlooked dangers in hazardous work environments: intrinsic safety, or IS. This concept is absolutely critical for anyone working around flammable gases, vapors, or combustible dust. Intrinsic safety isn't just a technical term, it's a set of life-saving principles that guide how we use electronic devices in high-risk areas. It's about making sure that the tools and gadgets we rely on every day don't become the very thing that puts us in danger. In any plant dealing with flammable vapors or combustible dust, we operate under these pretty strict Class 1 Division 1 protocols. These regulations are in place because even the smallest mistake or oversight can have devastating consequences. The air in these environments can be saturated with invisible, highly explosive substances, and it only takes a single spark to set off a chain reaction. That's why every piece of equipment, every tool, and every action is carefully controlled and monitored. A standard smartphone is not intrinsically safe. Most people don't realize that the phone in their pocket, which seems harmless in everyday life, can actually be a major ignition risk in these settings. Unlike specialized equipment, regular consumer electronics aren't built to withstand the unique hazards present in industrial plants. This means, well, it's not designed to limit electrical or thermal energy to a level that actually prevents ignition. Inside every phone, there are components, batteries, circuits, connectors, that can generate heat or sparks, especially if the device is damaged, dropped, or exposed to moisture. Even a minor malfunction can turn a phone into a dangerous ignition source. Just a tiny spark from a lithium-ion battery, or even a short circuit in the charging port, is more than enough to trigger a catastrophic explosion. In a hazardous environment, the consequences of such an event are unthinkable: fires, injuries, and even loss of life. That's why we can't afford to take chances with non-certified devices. And, honestly, this is why the locker room isn't just a suggestion, it's a blast shield. It's a critical safety barrier, designed to keep all personal electronics out of harm's way before anyone steps into a hazardous zone. By storing your phone and other devices in the locker room, you're not just following a rule, you're actively protecting yourself, your co-workers, and the entire facility from a potential disaster. Intrinsic safety is everyone's responsibility, and it starts with understanding the real risks posed by everyday technology. Finally, there is EMI, electromagnetic interference. When a phone struggles to find a signal inside a steel-heavy plant, it ramps up its transmission power. That RF energy can, induce noise into your 4 to 20 milliamp analog loops. If you've ever dealt with ghost readings on a pressure transmitter or unexplained VFD faults, you might actually be looking at EMI from mobile devices. These signals compromise the very sensors we rely on for plant reliability. In summary, the ban on phones is built on 3 pillars: global security, intrinsic safety, and signal integrity. As engineers, we prioritize the system over the device. Safety is a design choice. I'm moving the technical Q&A to the YouTube comment section for this one. If you've encountered sensor drift or Find My tracking issues in your facility, just drop a comment below. And if you're coming from the LinkedIn thread, use the tag LinkedIn Engineering so I can prioritize your questions. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more industrial tips and useful technical information. Support my channel by watching my other videos and check my tagged products inside. If you want to suggest next video topic, please don't hesitate. Always work safely and protect our environment.